Hello, welcome to the channel. This is a bit of a different video for me. Today I am fruit picking. I'm at Lathcote's farm, pick your own, and I'm going to pick some raspberries and hopefully get enough to make some decent jam out of them. So I shall swing this round so you can have a look. I've never picked raspberries actually, and I've only picked strawberries years and years ago, so there's absolutely loads of them. Look at the size of those beauties. Right then, let's get picking. Some absolute whoppers here, but a lot of them aren't quite ripe enough, so this one here doesn't really. Let's try it. I think when they come straight off the bush, that's when they're ripe enough. Through my little basket or bucket. The man said to fill the bucket would be about £12 worth, which is quite a lot of money for a bit of fruit, but it does taste so nice, and I don't know, you sort of get a bit of a sense of feeling of I don't know, a bit more of an achievement when you've picked it yourself. I've not grown it myself clearly, but that will happen one day maybe when I retire. Oh no, that one's not very ripe. I shouldn't have pulled that one off. I'll eat that one. Still going strong. Got quite a few now. Look at all that lot. Look at that whopper I've just found. And it's nice and juicy. With a few hidden away in this tree on a bush. These lovely. There's a nice one. Yeah. Who's joined us? Alan's turned up. So I have got a full bucket of lovely raspberries. Let's go and see how much they're going to cost. Right, so today is the start of the jam making process. The first thing I always do is stick all the jars in a dishwasher, because the last thing you want to do is make a load of jam and then they get some bacteria in it and it goes mouldy. That can happen very easily. So I probably won't be making as much as this jam, but I've got plenty of jars. A lot of people have given me these when I've asked for them actually. So they're going in on a hot wash in the dishwasher. And then I'm going to wash all the fruit just to make sure we get rid of any little bugs or bits of debris. And I've made up a solution of Zoflora and water, and I shall just disinfect the sink down first, just to make sure that that's nice and clean. Obviously I'll wash this out, so we don't want any jam tasting of the floor. So I'm just weighing all of the fruit. These are the ones that I picked that you'll see that you saw earlier in the video. This is a few days later now, and look how they've all ripened. They're all looking ripe now. And taste yummy. I'm just trying one. And then I bought some extra from the farm shop, so I'm going to wash and weigh all of those. I've also put in the dishwasher the big jam pan, which I'll show you later. I forgot to stick that in, so that's gone in there now. Okay, so all the fruit is in the sink, just cleaning up a little. You usually find the bits float to the top, so there's a few bits of leaves. Luckily no insects actually, so that's good news. No, that's really good. I was hoping. No, I don't like it when you find insects. So I've weighed all the fruit as well. I've got 2.585 kilos, so just about 2.5 kilos. And then to go with that, I've got some jam sugar, which has got added pectin in it. Now, different jams, different fruits, depending on their acidity, need extra pectin, but I usually find that the jam sugar works well, and I tend to cook it for a little bit longer if it's still too runny. And then also some lemon, so that's all we need. It's very, very easy. So there's all the fruit now. I've actually gone through it by sight and took out some of the mushy bits, a few berries that are a little bit overripe. So I'm just going to prepare the lemon now that needs to go in, and I give it a bit of a roll to loosen it up a bit. These are quite nice, ripe, big, juicy lemons. They were from the farm shop as well, so hopefully will be quite nice and natural. So just cut those in half and squeeze them into here. Now we're ready to go. I've got this humongous pan that's just come out of the dishwasher. I did just a 50, I think it was an hour in the dishwasher at 40 degrees, so that's killed everything off. So all you need is the fruit, the sugar and the lemon. So I'm going to add the sugar first. So I've got just over 2.5 kilos, so it's half and half. So 2585 to be exact. So this is the sugar that I'm using, so it's silver spoon with the added pectin. Very heavily granulated, and it's got the pectin in it, and it makes it a tiny little bit of a different colour, a bit more like a beige sort of colour. So that goes in as well. I've done 2 lemons, and I've read up on that, and that's to add extra pectin and to balance out the pH levels, and it also helps with preventing bacteria when it's put in the jam pots, in the jars. So let's add some fruit. So I've only put not all the sugar in yet. I'm going to add some of the fruit. This is quite heavy. This is going to take a while. Hang on. My hands are clean. I'm just going to use my hands. I have washed them many times. So this fruit hopefully is going to be really tasty. I'm hoping because it's come from the farm, it's not really got preservatives on it. It's been grown very naturally. It's very fresh, picked with my own good hands, and it helps to make a tastier jam, sort of a sweeter but a nice fruity taste. See, there's quite a bit of water still, so I don't want to add that. That's from where I've drained, where I took it out of the sink, so I need to drain that off. What I'm going to do, because I need to start adding the rest of the stuff, I'm going to get this on a very hot heat. You have to boil it. I'm a bit concerned this is a very big pan. Woo! And boiling jam does not bode very well around human skin. So let's get it boiling down a bit, because obviously the quantity will break down, the fruit will break down, and it won't be as bulky once we get going. Right, you should not leave this unattended. So I'm just going to mush it down a bit. Right, I'm just going to turn the heat down a little bit, just so we can control it a bit, because I don't want it to burn. You can see now how it's breaking down. So this pan is plenty big enough. I'm going to add the rest of the sugar in a minute. Now I've got a little bit more room. Okay, let's turn up the heat a bit, and I'm going to add the rest of the sugar. So that's everything now in. Half and half on the fruit and sugar, and 2 lemons, the juice of 2 lemons. So it's been going for about 5 minutes now. It's not completely boiling yet, but you can see it's starting to bubble up a bit on the top. All these little bubbles, this is what you want to see, because that means it's heating through. So we've been going now for about 10 minutes, and I think I'm going to carry on for a bit longer, because the fruit is not all broken down yet. There's still some quite large, big chunks. And what I'm sort of doing is just squashing them against the side of the pan. And I think because of the amount I've got, it's not hot enough yet, it's not boiling. But you can see now we're getting a lot more of the bubbles, so it's not far off now. Right, we're finally getting there. It's starting to boil. I need to just turn that down, because that's about to boil over the pan. It's not something that we want. So I have, like I said earlier, once you get to a certain stage, the fruit does break down, and it has done now, thankfully. I've bashed it about a bit, but it's a lot less lumpy now. And this is nearly ready. So to test the jam, you just put a little bit on a plate and stick it in the fridge or the freezer. just for a while. Whilst that's happening, I should just carry on stirring. Because I don't think, well, you don't want to be cooking it forever, but I don't think it does any harm just keeping the heat on it. So I'd say in all, that's probably, for that amount of jam, I think that's taken me probably about half an hour on the heat. And what I've done throughout, sometimes I've turned the heat up, sometimes I've turned it down. You just have to really keep an eye on it so it doesn't boil over and obviously doesn't burn. Right, so that's the little bit that's just been in the fridge for a couple of minutes. And the test is running your nail through it. And it creates sort of a bit of a skin. Can you see that? So, I'm saying that's about ready. I think what I might do, I might just heat it through one more time because it is still a little bit runny. But as it cools down, it does set a little bit harder anyway. Okay, so I've just moved the great big vat of jam, blooming heavy, and you can see, I don't know if you can see the steam still come on off it. I've left it for about half an hour and just to cool off. You have to be really, really careful with this because it's so hot, and if it gets on you, flipping heck, it will burn because it's so sticky and hot. Right, so this stuff on the top, I am going to try and sort of scrape a bit of it off. It's a bit like scum. I'm sure it will disappear once it gets in the jars, but because I have got a lot of jam today, I'm going to remove some of this because I don't really want it going in my jars. So what I'm going to do, that's just a Kilner funnel by the way. I like to use the nice shape jars. I've got loads and loads of sort of plain ones, but I do think the nice little small ones are quite nice. And also, I like to give the jam away as gifts to people. So just little small jars is nice to do that in. So I'm going to put it in a Pyrex jar. Wish me luck. I think I'm going to have to go in. Wow, it smells lovely. Ooh, look at the heat coming off that still. Okay, so you just have to be so careful. Right. Problem is, if I pour it in there, I'm going to feel it on the glass. I think I'm going to have to go over like this. Oh. Flipping everywhere. I don't want it splashing up. That's going to burn me. There we go. Just be gentle. First one done. Marvellous. I'm going to use these. I love these shape. These are lovely. I've given these away a couple of times, and luckily the people have given me the jars back. I'm now covered in jam. Right, that's number one. Done. So here it is, all finished. It's all poured through. I've got absolutely tons of this stuff. And what I've done, I've got all these little, I bought these like circles of material off eBay, and you just stick a rubber band around it and then put a little bit of twine. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 little pots of jam. Look at all that lot.